Every other week, something pisses me off. In many cases, this is a good thing, because now that I have a comic, I can channel my sociopathic desire to murder stupid people into a fun and happy comic, instead of quietly brooding until I eventually snap and vow to destroy the entire Earth just to save the universe from the toxic filth that is the human race. However, the limitations of the comic page and the human attention span mean that my massive verbal rants need to be cut up and condensed into tiny reader-friendly sized chunks, so that the unwashed masses don't get bored of reading and wander off to do some activity more immediately rewarding. Unfortunately, every once in a while something bothers me so much that the unhappy feelings of homicide are too much to compress, and I must rant and complain like an unstable YouTube enthusiast on crack. And so, with the aid of a voice modulator that makes me sound like the offspring of GLaDOS and Foamy the Squirrel, 5 different colors of crayon, and a small amount of inspiration from unknown sources, I am proud to bring you
Jalyss dislikes things.
with Jalyss. While watching a friend play Bioshock for the first time the other day, I absent-mindedly commented, "Hey, a teddy bear!" To which they responded, "Teddy bears are great because they're flammable." It was then that I decided I had to play Bioshock, not because I thought I would enjoy the game, but because that brief exchange led me to believe that if I beat the game vigorously enough, a comic might fall out. Because this feature is not called
Jalyss thoroughly enjoys things.
or
Jalyss gives due credit to properly seasoned pies.
you may have already guessed that I did not care for this game. And while I did get a laugh out of the James Randi-style mission objectives, like find telekinesis, the game ultimately disappointed me. There are many flaws in Bioshock that I could discuss, but since many of them have already been covered by other completely unrelated reviewers, I will limit myself to talking about the one thing that I felt really killed the game. Specifically, its attention to detail is so astoundingly inconsistent that playing the game I felt as though I were driving a luxury car with seats built from the finest imported European leather and no brakes. The first thing you should know about me is that I am a big fan of detail in a game, possibly to the point that it becomes unhealthy. I investigate every room I enter as though I were a crime scene forensic investigator, and search every corner for even the most insignificant pieces of information. In fact, finding consistent clues and pondering over tiny details is usually more fun for me than the actual game. Bioshock, however, tends to toy with my love of details like a cruel bully playing sadistic mind games. For example, when you are first brought to the underwater city in what appears to be a steampunk version of the Yellow Submarine, you are treated to a projection movie which introduces you to where you are, why it is here, and the smug self-important egotist you will eventually have to kill. As you watch this movie, tiny particles of dust in the air become illuminated by the projector light and create a very realistic and immersive effect that greatly pleased me. However, failing to include a projector made me die a little. Many exterior windows in the submerged city allow you to look into the expansive marine world, showing you wonderful views of the surrounding area, living creatures, and even other parts of the underwater city. A realistic ripple distortion programmed into these windows gives one the very convincing impression that they are looking into a surface of water, and shows high attention to detail on the part of the designers. Failing to remember that windows are made out of glass shows low attention to detail. This theme continues into the game's variety of enemies, which the game introduces to you in this order. The first enemies you encounter are called the Splicers. They are ugly people with a variety of mutant powers that were once residents of the utopian city of Rapture, but are now addicted to a genetic tonic called Adam, which they obtain by killing other people in order to keep their unstable and disfigured bodies from falling apart at the seams.
Cool.
The next enemies you encounter are called the Little Sisters, once human girls implanted with a parasitic sea slug and brainwashed so that they wander around collecting and consuming Adam from corpses to reprocess and reuse it, all the while protected by the giant abominations of genetic engineering known as Big Daddies, which follow them around and disembowel anyone who comes close with their grenade launchers and giant ass-raping drills.
Tits.
And that is it. At first I thought this must be some kind of joke, This game is set on the bottom of an ocean in an old-timey, futuristic, steampunk society where genetic engineering has gone out of control, and the only things they can think of to kill me are people and slightly larger people. To the game's credit, there is no shortage of ways to kill people in this game. Bioshock gives you access to so many weapons and superpowers that even the Justice League and United States Army combined could not match your testosteronic awesomeness. But no matter how many creative ways you come up with to kill the ants in your driveway, you are still eventually going to get bored and need a new outlet for your homicide.